Welcome back to Proverbs 31 Life. Today we're talking about our motives. It is important to remember that our motives matter. We all have things that we do, but we don't always operate from the same motives. We could even do the exact same task and have different experiences and outcomes based on what motivates us. Your motives and mindset are important. These dictate your attitude. If you are asked to do something that seems meaningless, below you, or is just unenjoyable, how do you react? What do you say? What is your attitude during that task? Do you grumble and complain? Do you seek to get out of it? Do you tell everyone how terrible this is? I want to challenge you, especially here in the beginning of this new year, is to look at your motives. And often the attitude of something being below us or just not important really comes from a sense of pride. So this is something that it's just deeper than our reaction. There's a reason. Our heart condition is what is causing the words to come out of our mouth. So we need to look at this. I want to challenge you to look at your motives. You can change your motives and your mindset, though. That's the good news. And this will in turn change your attitude and your experience of the task. As a Christian, your motive should be pure, seeking to honor the Lord. That should be the place that we all operate from, regardless of what our task is. If you are grumbling while the person beside you is rejoicing, ask yourself why. It is not just that they're a better Christian, a better person, or anything. We're all the same, but our motives and our mindset are not. The Lord is honored by the preacher that lovingly preaches the whole truth of Scripture, but he is also honored by the servant that willingly cleans toilets and takes out the trash. Service is not just for the spiritually poor, because there is no spiritually poor and there's no spiritually elite. He's honored by the wife that willingly makes her husband's lunch or irons his clothes. Willingly. He is honored by the teenager that takes a stand against sin even if they are standing alone. He is honored by the Christian that does not seek to get the applause of others. Our motive should be to honor and glorify the Lord, to let him be seen in and through us, to bring others to him. God sees your heart. Your motives matter. If your motives are temporal things, such as status, money, or emotions, it's not going to last. Regardless of where the Lord has you, whatever he's called you to do, you can worship and rejoice in it. Your motives are also contagious. This is good news, but it's also a responsibility. You may have a spouse or a child who's watching your reactions. You might be influencing another Christian, a lost coworker, a struggling saint that you don't even know. They're thinking about giving up, throwing in the towel, being done with this whole thing. But your reaction, your attitude, your motivation encourages them, perks their interest. That lost coworker might just think, man, maybe there's something to this after all. Your motives are part of your testimony. That's why they're important. Doing something halfway or grumbling about it sends a message to others, especially to the lost, that Christians really aren't that different. I want to remind you, Proverbs 31:13 says, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. That was the attitude of the Proverbs 31 woman. Colossians 3:23 says, and whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as unto the Lord and not unto men. Philippians 2:3, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Ephesians 6:6 and 7, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will, doing service as to the Lord and not to men. Let your attitude be I get to, not I have to. God doesn't have to use us. He chooses to. Be a vessel God can use this year. Let your motivation be so that others can glorify your Father based on what they see in you. Your attitude has the power to draw others to Christ or to deter them. Glorify him in all that you say and do, regardless of how meaningless that task seems. Until next time, stay in the Word, stay close to the shepherd, and let him lead you in paths of righteousness.